Tonight on Stringers.
He's getting out now.
A drunk driver faces down an army of cops.
Did you see that? They just shot that dude.
Poisonous gas puts the city at risk.
5 firefighters are exposed to the fumes. Code 3, they've just added 3 ambulances to it.
Oh boy.
And later, there's a new life on the streets.
This little baby just made my night.
We're riding shotgun with Stringers, L.A. Just south of L.A., Stringer Scott Lane hears that a drunk driver nearly ran over several officers. Now the suspect is leading them on a wild pursuit.
It sounds like it's a drunk driver. He's swerving all over the place. It sounds like he's getting on the freeway right now. He's getting on the freeway southbound, so he's turning right towards us. He's turning right towards us. He's turning right towards us. Yeah, he's coming at us. Oh, dude, did you hear that? Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. All right, this changes everything. Hold on. Oh, it might be over. He just crashed.
In a matter of seconds, police corner the suspect in the middle of a residential street.
We'll be there in about 2 minutes. It's a little bit of a standoff. He's not getting out of the car, which is cool because that way if I get him being yanked out of the car, that's way better than getting there and the guy's already in handcuffs, so.
Scott arrives to a tense showdown as 24 adrenaline-pumped officers surround the defiant driver.
All right, come on. Stay small. All right.
The suspect is believed to be armed, but that doesn't stop Scott from positioning himself right in the line of fire. But the driver refuses to surrender.
All right, he's not moving. So we can only imagine what's going on in this guy's head while there's 20 cops with their guns pointed at him.
Across town, stringer Howard Raishbrook has just stopped for gas when breaking news comes over the scanner.
We've got a call. It sounds like we've got a hazmat call. That's typical.
Hazardous materials calls are always big news.
It's a hazmat call with firefighters injured.
Minutes ago, firefighters responding to an alarm at a grocery store were met with toxic fumes from a fumigation bomb.
You can always bet something's going to happen when you're putting gas in. Just guarantee it.
Line 4 was exposed. All 5 members on truck 58. Contact right now, and they're on their way out.
5 firefighters are exposed to the fumes. We're requesting 5 ambulances. This is a huge story. It's in mid-city.
We don't need line 4.
We don't have much traffic. But the money shot on something like this is getting the firefighters being transported, put into the ambulances on gurneys. If we get that, that'll make the morning news. But when I get excited on a call like this, I guess my body temperature rises and my windows steam up. I'm sweating like a pig. Come on. Out of the way. Okay, they're still responding code 3. They've just added 3 ambulances to it. This seems big.
But access won't be easy.
They've blocked the road already. There's got to be 20 units up there. This is going to be a ditch the car and run job.
The tension is mounting as a drunk driver faces off against 20 armed police.
He's not moving. The dude's lighting up a cigarette. The guy's smoking a cigarette. He was just in an early pursuit with shots fired, and he's lighting up a cigarette right now.
No matter how this thing ends, if I get this guy in custody, you know, just get the guy in handcuffs. There's a story there because shots were fired.
He's getting out. All right, it's over.
But then suddenly, the suspect's hand goes to his side, as if reaching for a gun.
No way. Dude, they just shot that guy. I just watched somebody get shot right now. Dude, I've never seen that. Dude, I just watched a guy get shot.
But there's no time to think about it. Scott still has a story to cover.
He's gonna be coming towards us in a second. We're in the best position to get the shot at him going to the ambulance. All right, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. I'll remember this, and everybody else who sees it's gonna remember this one for a long, long time. And wow, I don't know if that dude was dead or alive, but they're taking him to the hospital, so that's, you know, that's good for him at least. That was a load of emotions. I was all excited for a pursuit, then I was all bummed it was over, then I was all excited it was shots fired, and then I just saw somebody get shot.
Downey police shot the drunk driver today after he led police on a chase through the city and then tried to run officers over with his car.
Pursuing officers commanded the man to raise his hands and get out of his car. Police opened fire, striking him several times.
Coming up on Stringers, Howard braves toxic fumes to get the perfect shot.
I don't think I've ever seen this many ambulances in one place.
And later, Scott has his own run-in with the law.
Go around with this $10,000 of equipment. Very good.
Hopefully we'll get mugged. The two main things that scares me about this job, I'm gonna get into a car crash or I'm gonna get shot.
There's got to be 20 units up there.
At least 5 firefighters have collapsed with chest pain after being exposed to poisonous gas. Stringer Howard Raishbrook is trying to cover the scene without getting sick himself.
It looks like they're trying to keep the contamination from spreading. They have all the firefighters' uniforms in bags.
But Howard can't locate the victims. This is the shot he needs to beat out the news choppers.
I need to get the shot inside the ambulance. If I get that, I don't care that these guys are up here.
Finally, Howard finds what he's looking for.
I have 2 firefighters in the back of the ambulances. I have another guy who's injured too. This is a big incident. Yeah, this is huge. You know what, it is tough to see this kind of stuff. I mean, these guys are helping other people, and when they get injured themselves, like a police officer in a crash, firefighters in a fire, when they get injured, it kind of brings realization into things on how dangerous their job actually is. Yeah, I mean, the magnitude of this is pretty incredible. I don't think I've ever seen this many ambulances in one place. This kind of response is pretty rare.
On the lookout for another story, Scott Lane heads straight for gang territory, South Central LA.
I work in these neighborhoods for a reason. It's because stuff happens in them. You don't get out of your car unless you're out of scene.
NS-17, we received information from PD.
Here in the city's most dangerous neighborhood, there's been a stabbing in the middle of the street. But Scott's not yet sure if this story is news.
Stabbings are if there's 2 or more, if it's multiple, if it's fatal. If somebody was just cut on the arm, it's not that big a deal. Looks like a male. They don't seem to be doing CPR or any of those gnarly medical terms. And if they start throwing out yellow tape, then you know it's a big deal. No problem, just need to push it back a little bit further.
But Scott still has to get the shot of the victim being loaded into the ambulance.
He's about to be right here in about 2 minutes, so.
With his story in the can, Scott's ready to feed out his footage. But there's a problem. His car is now stuck inside the taped-off area.
Let's do what we're not supposed to do, but we gotta do it anyways. We're gonna come back the way we came, but not quite supposed to do that.
Hey, where you guys going?
Back to my car on the side, sitting over here. What's that?
Oh, no, you're running across front. You see that yellow cage?
Yeah, I know, sir. I was here when you guys put it up. My car's right there.
Go around.
I know, but I was here before the tape was up. And now I was trying to get out of here, trying to leave so I can go do my job. So can I go to my car, please? No problem, but I mean, can you walk me to the...
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna walk around the block with this $10,000 of equipment.
Very good.
Cool, just let you guys know. No problem, you just told them we have to walk around. People can come make their rent right now. That's cool. It's the authority stick shoved up their ass. Hopefully we'll get shot. Hopefully we'll get mugged.
Walking alone in this neighborhood is like strolling through a war zone with a bullseye on your back, and Scott would make an easy target.
The two main things that scares me about this job and the two main things that could possibly happen to me is I'm gonna get into a car crash or I'm gonna get shot.
Finally, he makes it.
Can I get my car now, please, and get out of here? Thank you. Dude, that was the dumbest thing ever possible. I'm pretty sure their job is to protect the public. Like, just one guy ruins it for everybody.
On the other side of the city, stringer Howard Raishbrook hears that a young man has plunged 75 feet off a cliff.
Sounds like a young male over the side. It's been reported by a friend. Apparently there was a party going on. He went back to the house to report him going over the side, so it may be a drunk male over the side. So these are a little tough to shoot, but it sounds like a good call. These are pretty rare.
To get the story, Howard braves a treacherous hike toward a sheer drop-off. 7 stories down.
He's gone a long way down. These are pretty gnarly looking cliffs.
Coming up, a rescue that could end the life it's trying to save.
This is the difficult part for them, actually getting it into the helicopter itself.
And later, a woman goes into labor on the streets of LA.
If she has a baby in the back of her car and I get that baby in the back of the car, gold.
He's gone a long way down. These are pretty gnarly looking cliffs. Okay, yeah, the helicopter's coming.
50 rescue workers are desperately trying to reach a man who plunged off a 75-foot cliff.
The fireboats are already down there. I can see firemen down there too. Yeah, I can barely see the guy. It's pretty dark, but it looks like there's a fireman down there with him already. I don't know how he's conscious after falling that far.
A helicopter lowers a rescuer with a stretcher.
Yeah, there's a firefighter down there talking to him already. It looks like he's actually alert, which is amazing seeing how far he dropped down. This is the hoist. They're going to drop the hoist down to the beach, load him up and bring him back up.
The helicopter hovers dangerously close to the cliff. Howard has to brace himself, or the chopper's downdraft could force him off the edge too.
The adrenaline Just the real adrenaline goes through that firefighter that comes up in the middle of the night, up a cliff face, rescuing somebody. That's got to be a hell of a feeling. I'd love to be that guy. They just strapped him in. They're going to hoist him up now.
It's far trickier than it looks, especially when the winds pick up and start swinging the stretcher out of control.
This is the difficult part for them, actually getting it into the helicopter itself, because it swings around in the wind. This is the money shot. I have to get this shot. You know, it actually turned out to be a really good story, and we have to feed it out right now. "75-foot drop. He had internal injuries. The rescue operation took about 45 minutes. 50 personnel. They had 3 boats. It was a pretty gnarly rescue.
Next on Stringers, Scott races to the scene of an emergency delivery.
These calls don't end well unless there's a baby being born.
Scott is back on the streets, looking for another story, when he receives an unexpected message. The text from an old girlfriend throws him for a loop.
Oh my God. I haven't been in love in about 2.5, 3 years. I really trying to get over the girl that I loved. She got married and had a child. She just texted me. completely out of the blue. And it sucks. This is the one thing in my life that didn't go my way. It was my fault I broke up with her, but I've never had so much fun, and it really bums me out.
This has been a rough night for the veteran stringer.
I had to walk around the block, so that made me a little angry. Ex-girlfriend called. That spun my head. I'm pretty sure I watched somebody die tonight, and that was really weird.
Just when Scott's ready to call it a night.
Oh my God, did you hear that?
A pregnant woman on the way to the hospital is in trouble.
If she has a baby in the back of her car, and I get that baby in the back of the car, gold. Oh, dude, there's a baby in the back seat.
Emergency crews are already on the scene.
You have no idea how good this feels right now. I've had the worst night, and this little baby just made my night. That's a head. I think he has more hair on his head than I have. Is it a boy or a girl, sir?
Let's see. I'm not an expert, but boy.
Got a little boy there.
Little boy. Are you dead? Yeah.
The woman's cousin fills Scott in on the details.
Okay, what happened?
Just trying to get her to the hospital, you know, she got a lot of pain, and the baby came out, you know, he hold it. We don't know what to do. We just started calling the 911, and man, I was so nervous, I don't know.
How you feeling?
Fine.
Fine. Good.
It's a sweet ending. Mom happy, everyone's going to the hospital, baby's fine, fireman said. This will definitely make the news. It's not a question. It's really weird how things always work out for me. I am real excited. I'm gonna go feed my story of the night. Might not necessarily be the story of the night in, Los Angeles, but it is my story of the night. It's a happy story. Happy doesn't happen often on my job.
Most doctors will tell you that a hospital's probably the best place to have a baby. The backseat of a car, not such a good choice. On their way to the hospital, the mother was suddenly in a lot of pain, so a cousin driving the car pulled over in a parking lot, and Dad helped deliver the baby.
The risks and rewards of chasing the news can be downright dangerous. But once in a while, life can surprise even a stringer.
I'm over all these shootings and stabbings. No, this is an ambulance. Here we go.
Pretty much every weekend we'll get a stabbing down here. Stabbing or a shooting or at least a disturbance call. We've seen a lot of things, we've done a lot of things that most people won't see in their whole life.